in the middle.
It's really hard to shock healthcare professionals. Nurses and doctors see all kinds of shit every day, so when you are applying for a detox and you are telling your story of how much you drink every day, and the nurse's eyebrow twitches just a little bit, you start to think, wow, I must be doing really well. And so I said, so is that a lot? And she said, it is an unusual drinking pattern for a female of your age. I was told that there were 2 beds in the detox that were available, and because I was a woman and because the city of San Francisco had to hold a certain number of beds for female-identified people, I was now eligible for this detox. And because it was the only free one on the entire West Coast, I was pretty excited. And so I said, so how long is the wait? When will I be able to go? And she said, the van is on the way. You'll be going in 10 minutes. I didn't have any clothes, I didn't have anything, I didn't know that this was a process that could just happen so quickly. And I said, well, can I go home and get my stuff? And she said, I'm sorry, Ms. Williams, you stopped drinking 5 hours ago. You are at high risk for DT, seizure, and possibly death, so we're going to take you in right now. You really shouldn't have stopped drinking. When I got to the rehab, I was ushered into a room shown where I would be sleeping, was to the nurse's station, given a fistful of drugs, and told to lie down, which they didn't really have to tell me to do, because that was pretty much all I wanted to do. And the drugs that they gave me were drugs that were very exciting to the heroin girl who was in the room right next to me. And she kept asking me, what are you taking? Do you really need that? Because maybe you could just cheek it and give it to me afterwards. And I said, we're in rehab. I think that's probably against the rules. I went to sleep and woke up, I don't know how much later, completely soaked, and I thought that maybe I had pissed the bed, because this was a regular occurrence for me in my career as an alcoholic, but it was actually just sweat. So I went to the nurse's station and got a new pair of sheets and put them down on the bed, and I woke up about half an hour later, soaked again in sweat, and didn't know how many times I was going to have to do this over the night. They kept coming in to take my vitals, so I couldn't sleep very well, and I kept waking up and I kept thinking, how much longer is this going to be this way? Probably about 2 or 4 in the morning, I rolled over and I really had to pee, and I was soaked in sweat, and I went to get out of bed, but I noticed that there was a bulge in the floor that had not been there before. And I thought maybe the carpet was crimped, but this was a wall-to-wall carpet, and now the bulge was larger. And I said, okay, I've heard about hallucinations when you're detoxifying, and maybe this is it. And as I lay there watching the floor bulge larger and larger, I kept thinking, you know, I've taken fistfuls of acid. I've been high as fuck many times, and I've never actually seen something that wasn't really there, you know? And eventually the bulge grew to where it was actually higher than me on the bed, and I wasn't sure what to do. I wanted to call out, but what was I going to say? Excuse me, my floor is bulging. It seemed like maybe not quite the time for that. And this was outside of my belief and outside of my experience. And I knew scientifically that the brain is capable of amazing things. And our reality is actually simply formed by a combination of input and output and what we're getting. And even as I'm trying to reconcile the fact that this bulge in the floor may or not be really there, but what is reality really for any of us? When the bulge started to crack open from the top, like a ball of dirt, and the crumbling didn't reveal nothing, it revealed something. It revealed a large, hairy something. And the arch of the back and the slope of the neck and the tiny, black, glittering eyes and the oddly shaped ears that twitched to shake off the clumps of dirt as the muzzle turned to face me. And I was face to face with a hyena breathing heavily, scented with the dirt of the plains, hot and furious. And she sat down on her haunches and shook her head and looked up to me and said, hello. Hi. My name is Bubbles. And we need to leave. We need to go. You've made your point. You went into rehab. You showed them you could do it. But now you're taking it a little too far. I think we should leave. This is a voluntary program. And it would be so delicious right now, wouldn't it, to go down to the bodega on the corner, wouldn't it, to go put your $10 on the counter, wouldn't it, to go get that fifth of Jack Daniels, wouldn't it, to open it and feel the delicious obliteration of that gleaming, sparkling whiskey as it brings you back to where you need to be with us, back together with us, running and smiling and living the way we choose to live without any of the pressure from other people, from these people who don't understand, from these people who can never, ever understand. This is bullshit, girl. You need to get the fuck up out of here. We need to go.